You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You're listening to The Money Hour at 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, October 15th virtual show. Because of COVID, our show has temporarily moved virtually. You can also listen to us on podcast or on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
And it is a great day to talk about money. That is what the show is all about, how to make money, save money, so you can have a better quality of life for you and your family. If you're listening to our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show today. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And now in studio, we have Eileen Vierra of Memory Books by Eileen, LLC. In the age of technology, why memory books? Right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Welcome, Eileen. How are you?
Fine. How are you today, Tina?
Good. Thanks for joining us in studio. So excited to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
And a little bit about Eileen. She is the Chief Creation Officer of her company, Memory Books by Eileen, located in South Bellevue. She is a professional memory book maker who also sells and hosts events for people who want to create their own memory books. She has been preserving her own memories for over 40 years and has been in the industry continuously for 18 years. Eileen has worked in many fields since graduating from Santa Clara University with 2 degrees and credential from banking and teaching. She and her husband, Tony, have been married for 30 years, and they have a 19-year-old son, Ben. She has lived in Bellevue, Washington for 16 years. She likes playing board card games and attending MLB baseball games. Her key to success is definitely her passion, persistence, and perseverance. Say that a few times.
Eileen, so this is exciting. Actually, I have little London. He's 4 years old, and my mother-in-law gave me a book of her memories, and it was hugely impactful to me because I got 9 trillion photos on my phone, and that's not nearly as cool as this photo book that I have, and I still go back to mine. I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, about the relevance of a photo book nowadays.
Well, it's especially relevant during these COVID times. People are getting back, they have time, so they're getting into their photos and doing some stuff with their photos. And I just watched a little YouTube interview with the founder of Creative Memories, and memory keeping is a new side hustle. I mean, it's not new because it's been around since the 80s, but more and more people are doing it for fun and for business to make money too. So it is nice having a book.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just thinking when Keelan was talking here, I hope that memory book that his mom got for him was before I met you, because I'm just thinking, how did I miss the opportunity to connect her with you? Anyways, so nice. Eileen, because you're amazing at what you do. Eileen, let's talk a little bit about if you can share in more detail about what a memory book is.
Sure. There are two main different kinds. The scrapbook is what you think of as a typical scrapbook, where you have pages and photos that are taped to a book with paper and stickers and that kind of thing. And then a photo book is like a coffee table book where the pictures are pre-printed on the page like a regular bound book, and you can't add pages to that. So sometimes people like the convenience of having a photo book because it's lightweight and easy to transport. It's kind of like any other book you might read. But some people like having a scrapbook because they have things that they want to put in it, like tickets and maps and all kinds of fun memorabilia like that. So those are the 2 categories of memory books that I make.
So cool. Yeah, to clarify, Tina, I didn't even know I was getting one. It just kind of showed up and I was like, wow, this is awesome. So
I feel better.
Anyhow, so it's not you at all. You had no idea, nor did I. So to clarify, do you make these books or do your clients make them? How does that work, Eileen?
Well, both. In pre-COVID times, my clients would come I have clients that come to my basement, my daylight basement here, and they make their own. And I have inventory and supplies, so they will work. Sometimes they'll work on their own books and preserve their own memories. And since March, I've pivoted, and I work with people in workshops on Zoom. And they have a chance, some dedicated craft time and some social time. And they've been very grateful for that. Tina kind of helped me do that too, do the pivot in March when I took her 8-week burn. Anyway, I also make books for people. That's the Memory Books by Eileen part. I've been doing that on and off for many years, but since my BNI membership, I've been doing it a lot more. So Tina could hire me to do a book for her, or Jana could hire me to do a book for her. I just got 2 new jobs yesterday. One is for an annual scrapbook for a young girl. Her mom hires me every year. I'm working on the 4th year of a book for her daughter. So every year we do a yearbook for her. And then I'm getting hired to do a cat book. So I have a client whose parents' cat died, and there was a very precious cat and named Leo. And this customer, Scott, wants me to put cat pictures together in a book for his parents to give them for Christmas. So
Wow.
There's all kinds of reasons why people would want to do a photo book or a scrapbook, and those are just some of them.
Yeah. Well, my first grandbaby is due in February, Colina's due. And so I'm definitely going to have one. And I'm hosting the baby shower. So I'm definitely going to do one for Serena and Colt. The parents of just, the experience of what's happening through the process. So I love it. What other type great ideas and books do you see people have you make or go through your class that they're making their own?
Well, I just finished another book for a gentleman down in Southern California. So it's wonderful being on Zoom now and having a website, because people anywhere can find me. And with so many digital photos, they can zip me photos and that kind of thing, or newspaper clippings. So in this book, I had a gentleman contact me from Southern California. His father-in-law used to be a swimmer in the 60s, and he found all these newspaper articles about his father-in-law. So they have all these grandkids, and he wanted to be able to show his grandkids what a great swimmer Grandpa was. So he shot me a bunch of newspaper articles about swimming, about the Grandpa swimming, and I put them all together in a photo book. And so he just received that last week. So all kinds of different things.
That is so cool. I'm starting to, my gears are starting to turn on all these cool ideas that you could do. It's like bringing up the history, the past, and seeing those things. So fun. And it brings your family together. Everybody sits around these books. And when I go to my parents' house and we just look at pictures, but they're not as cool as your scrapbooks, I'm sure. So how do you help people with making scrapbooks? Can you walk our listeners through how this process works with you and where your assistance comes to play in this?
Sure. They could go to my website, memorybooksbyeileen.com, and click on book a consult, and we can do a Zoom meeting, and I can learn about what kind of project they might want me to help them with. So that's been working really well with my website. And then also people can go to my website and click on shop. I have 2 online stores on my website. One is for traditional scrapbooking products, albums and pages and stickers and that kind of thing. And the second one is a digital online store through my Forever link. So people could upload their pictures and create their own photo books if they wanted, or they could buy special software through that link as well. And it's kind of like Photoshop, but a lot easier, and they could create their own books. And then also on my website, I have a link for events. So I do weekly, monthly, and biannual events. I do 2 events a week, every Tuesday and every Friday. People will join me on Zoom, and we have this dedicated craft time. And they've been so grateful during this pandemic to have a social outlet and be able to get together and get their photos done. And then I reward them when they finish an album. I put their name in a drawing. They get 10 drawing tickets, and every quarter I draw a name for a free album. So a free blank album for them to add their own photos to if they want. So I make albums for people. I sell people products if they need, and I host events so they have time and space to make their own albums too.
Yeah, that's so great. And thank you for the shout out for being a little bit of the inspiration behind starting your virtual courses, because it's pretty amazing that you can do that through your events. And I know you're doing a lot of amazing ones. We're connected with some of the same people that have had a lot of great things to say about your events. So if you're listening right now, I definitely encourage that you go to Eileen's site and take a look and register for one of those. As we're wrapping up our time here with you today, Eileen, I would love for you, because you're so passionate about what you do, and what in my 25 years of really having a career that I love in the mortgage space, the best of the best are always have a lot of passion around their work. What is the most favorite thing that you do that brings that passion to the gift that you have to serve and share with others?
Well, I think what I love the best is I love helping somebody by collecting their photos, organizing them, hearing the memories surrounding them, and helping to preserve their memories in a book that they wouldn't have time or interest to do. And then to watch them open up the book that I've created, and the emotions that come to their face, happiness and, just, and some sadness, or some just those really strong emotions. It's really cool to get to see how emotional people can get when they see all of their important memories in one spot.
Yeah, and we're part of a pretty powerful networking group together. And yes, I've heard people give testimonial when it's the testimonial time. And number one, they choose to give a testimonial for you, which is huge in itself. And then they tear up when they're talking about it. So you know that there is such emotional connection to what you're doing. And even more so now, as Keelan had mentioned, because of the time that we're going through. So love that. Well, so happy to have you here and to showcase your amazingness and what you're doing, and also to give an opportunity for our listeners to be able to reach out so they can have a tearful moment by looking at their photo book of memories, whether it's a sad, tearful moment, which we need those, or it's a happy one, just going back to that great place. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Tina and Keelan.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, Facebook does not have to be pay to play. Tracy Warren of Nature, your network, right here on 1150 AM KKNW.